Uh-oh, error occurred. Oh, it says I'm live, but StreamYard's telling me an error occurred.
I'm looking live.
I'm looking live. We're live. Okay, now it says we are live. I don't know. We'll just go for it. And if nobody is actually watching.
You got some food on your face, I think, buddy.
Actually, no. Oh. Let me tell you about this injury, dude. This is a battle with a mushroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you fell over on the cow field.
No, not that much. Not that. I haven't had those in a long time. Yeah. Now this is a run-in with my wife made stuffed mushrooms the other night, and I, like an idiot, bit into the whole mushroom instead of cutting it, and the grease scalded my chin, So anyway, that's what's going on. I don't have any lunch on me.
Yeah, all right. Good to know. I thought you were slipping a little bit there.
Yeah. So I think prices were slipping a little bit today. I haven't looked at a friggin' thing because I'm busy, but I don't know, Joe. What you got?
Let me quickly look.
29,872 and 17,78. Yeah.
I was more concerned about the stock markets real quick. Just see if there was something trading off earlier. Major world indices. But again, it's just every day. Who cares?
Yeah. All right. Let's move in.
It's all up. I mean, holding steady.
Holding steady, not up. Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into the news of the day. Senators Lummis and Gillibrand. I never know how to say her name. Gillibrand.
Gillibrand, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, they launched their crypto bill, and the first summaries by attorneys I respect are interesting, kind of a mixed bag. Let's start off with, first of all, it doesn't sound like yet, but I haven't read the bills yet, and I will read the bill. But it doesn't sound like that whole everything's a security except Bitcoin thing is definitively the case, but looks like it could tread that way. So Gabriel Shapiro he's the general counsel for Delphi Digital, one of the larger firms in the space, basically says if you're running your project like a business, there's a high risk you'll be regulated like you're running a business. He says, this isn't the right thread. Arg. All right, let's go to Adam Cochran. I'll come back to Gabriel. I clicked the wrong link, I guess.
Yeah, that looked a little bit like about messaging platforms and discovery.
Oh, shite. God damn it. Anyway, his summary, I'll just go to him and say it. His summary was that overall he felt like there was some positive stuff, but there is it's a mixed bag, and that's really what everyone is coming through with. Why can't I find his commentary? Well, whatever. Let's go to Adam Cochran. So Adam Cochran says, gives us a lot of clarity, which, we all want. We want clarity in the space. He said initially in the thread that it requires DAOs to be registered entities in the U.S., but later on he clarifies and says that they can, if they want the protections of businesses, then they have to register as a DAO, but they are not necessarily required to register to have a DAO. It just can be an unregistered entity. If not registered in the U.S., the U.S. views it as personally taxable, requires all exchanges and stablecoin providers to be registered entities, unclear language for DeFi. Clears up security laws and puts a lot of assets as commodities under the CFTC. But, there's the big but, if there is any debt, equity, profit, revenue, dividend of any variety, then it is now expressly not a digital asset commodity. So in other words,
that's interesting.
Yeah. In other words, it's going to be a security.
Or a business at least.
Yeah.
Or SEC oversight.
Yeah. New disclosure requirements would make a non-run projects almost impossible to comply with the law. Anything that trades one digital asset meets the burden of being a digital asset exchange. Current language seems like it would include AMMs. Exchange oversight is going through the roof, huge increase in compliance costs. So fees would go up, but likely better listing and no trading against their own users. So protects the users a bit, but there's going to be a lot of stringent regulatory enforcement. Bankruptcy definition changes are a win for using it. Oh, this is the whole whether it clarifies that users will get first dibs on assets if an exchange goes bankrupt. Fees offsetting rules mean exchanges will have to pay government from fees, likely putting the costs up. So in other words, the government's going to have to get their piece of the action from fees. And so if it does, then the fees for trading are going to go up. Says there's this weird requirement of users basically having to agree to a terms of service based on a source code version. And if the source code gets updated, it requires another agreement from the user. So I guess essentially they're saying that users have to agree that they understand that this source code version, and if they upgrade it and secure it more, then users are going to have to click through again and say they agree. I don't know. Extends powers to a lot of regulators to investigate and advise on additional regulations in new areas, means that if this passes, it wouldn't be the full scope of it until at least 90 days after the account. And you can count on Goldman Gary wanting to get his piece of the action. He's not going to be happy about the CFTC getting all the power. Gives depository institutions the right to issue stablecoins, gives clear compliance requirements and penalties. They are all higher than we'd like, but at least it is clear, and not rules via enforcement. So in other words, if you do this, you have to pay this. And it's not like this arbitrary thing that, the SEC can say. Would you seek to unify some money transmission laws across states? That'd be a help across the board, just generally in fintech. And would also expand information sharing between agencies, both state and federal, which he says sucks, which obviously means that there'll be more enforcement actions by more people. He says plenty of good in here to at least make crypto clear. Crypto is allowed in the US, but it aims to regulate it as strictly or even more strictly than banks and current financial services providers. Not a lot of room for DeFi and none for anons or non-registered DAOs. And he's saying that it's a draft bill, et cetera, et cetera. It could change. Most people don't think this will even get to a vote till sometime next year. So there's time for our lobbyists to work on it. I just pulled up Jake Travinsky, who I really like. He's incredibly active on the regulatory side and the lobbying side in the DeFi space. He says there's a lot to like. Here's some highlights and next steps. The bill covers all the major categories you'd expect in a comprehensive package. Top highlight, in his view, is the inclusion of a modified version of the Digital Commodity Exchange Act, a bill proposed earlier this year in the House, making the CFTC the primary spot market regulator for crypto. And he says that this bill has that part of the bill has bipartisan bicameral support. It adopts the McHenry-Ryan proposal to fix the no good, very bad crypto tax provisions introduced by last year's infrastructure bill, which we should strongly support. Also has bipartisan support. The bill provides clarity on many issues, large and small, blah, blah, blah. There's room for improvement, but we're lucky to have allies in Lummis and Gillibrand. He doesn't do a deep dive into the actual letter of the law. And I think that's because he's a part of the Blockchain Association. I think they advised on drafting this. So we'll see. Gabriel's Shapiro's was a mixed bag like Adam Cochran. Essentially, there's a lot that's going to be problematic. AMMs essentially wouldn't be able to function in the United States without registering. And that is obviously going to stifle a lot of folks, because a lot of these projects are not going to want to be registered in the United States, right? Because then those that have a non-team members are going to have to disclose themselves, and then they're subjected to all the existing exchange regulations that would make it probably really difficult to run a decentralized exchange. But we'll see. Thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, no, I mean, it still has to get through 3 Senate committees before being even brought up for a full chamber vote. And then it has to go over to the House side and reconcile with that. So there's plenty of time. I mean,
plenty of time.
When there's so much commenting on so many aspects that are going to change, It's important to stay on top of it, but nobody throw themselves on the sword over any part of this.
Okay, so I don't have to do that now.
Yeah, I was just preempting Brad's impassioned Braveheart type response here. Battle cry.
Well, look, there still has to be a battle cry. The battle cry has to be that when the industry legal minds and regulatory minds have had a chance to fully digest it and then come up with recommendations to protect DeFi, that's when the battle cry happens, right? It's like that's when we start lobbying our Congress folks and the committee members that will have to rewrite this thing. That's when we start lobbying them as voters to do the right thing. So.
Yeah, and all the big players are already sitting there, lobbying.
Yeah.
I thought the stuff about private corporations and stable coins was interesting.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like the banks are going to have all their own stable coins, at least the big ones,
right?
That'll be used in different ways. So to see that green lit basically is pretty interesting.
Yep.
And I saw some stuff on another, I think it's on Bloomberg, but there was something interesting about tasking the U.S. Treasury with developing guidance to clarify responsibility of stablecoin issuers to comply with sanctions. Requirement stablecoin issuers maintain 100% reserves, publicly disclose assets backing their token. FERC, Energy Regulatory Commission, in consultation with CFTC and SEC, analyze their important energy consumption. That's pretty interesting. And the one you mentioned, government watchdog study, I think you said this, the opportunities and risks of investing retirement savings in digital assets. So what that says to me is pension funds, it's the holy grail, basically.
Right.
Social Security money, CalPERS, just the giant coin, which is what a lot of, like, say, BlackRock's 10 trillion is, a lot of that type of money. And then the CFTC being tasked to regulate the coins categorized as commodities directly. So, like you said yesterday and today, it really shows how they are going to break some of these out between commodities and securities form, which is what we've wanted.
Of course.
Nobody wants to be a security, but we just want clarification on what the rules are. So if you don't want to be a security, you make sure you're not a security.
That's right.
So I think it's all pretty good stuff. One thing I was going to say about, it was funny. I was looking at her. I think it was on the one you had up about the senator from Wyoming, and her tag is rhymes with hummus. So I thought that was pretty funny. So it's Lummis, buddy, Lummis. So
Lummis.
Yeah, I was like, that is so funny. It's like Brad Nickel rhymes with pickle.
There you go. There you go. Thanks for that. That's awesome to know. I'll probably still call her Lummis. I don't know why. For me, she's a bit on the right wing extreme side of things. I'm happy to see her taking this on, and I'm excited that she's an advocate, and I hope she maintains that. I'm glad to have it.
Come on, Wyoming's just a billionaire tax haven with a bunch of good old boy cowboys running around.
Niblet says this feels like it would impact institutional participation more than the projects themselves. Yeah, I could see where you're saying that, institutional actually participating in the crypto space, and you're probably right that that's part of what they wanted to clarify. I think it's going to be, if it were to stay the way it is, that there's going to be a lot of difficulty for a lot of existing protocols that have anons, that have already established structures in their DAOs that may or may not have registered as corporations in other countries, et cetera. And if all of the countries follow suit with the package that ends up becoming law for the United States, then that means DEXs and others are going to end up having to register in every country, or those countries will say, if registered in the US, it's all okay. I don't know. So I don't know. Chuck says, isn't the ACH network already the banking industry's blockchain? Not sure why they'd ever want to engage in the stablecoin would if they could stay in control of the flow of fiat currencies. Yeah, I think it's going to be I think XRP is screwed, because I think all of these will start, transfer stablecoins that will allow them to do interbank transfers and those kinds of things. I think those will be their first steps into it. I think JP Morgan Chase already was developing one. We talked about that previously. So
I know there's been talk around, and I've heard scuttlebutt around BlackRock too. There's been talk.
Yeah.
because of the USDC stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna bring on our guest.
But yeah, that's a good point, Chuck. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because they already control it. So
yeah. So we got a guest today, Joe.
Oh,
good friend
of the buddy?
Good friend of the show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a little intro music here, see if it works. Oh, there we go.
Oh, this is
cinematic. That's
very
so
zen.
boring. That's so
Hey,
boring.
that's cool.
Do we have any like?
Do I do interpretive dance now?
That's Corey.
That's better.
That's Corey, the musician.
Yeah.
There you go.
Corey, the man. So Corey. Oh, I better turn that off. How do I turn that off? Have you used this, Corey? Right, there we go. Okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it, Boomer.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's nice.
Oh no,
that's nice.
No, he's really Gen X. I'm just.
Yeah, I am definitely Gen X. The only boomer on this call is Joe. No, Corey.
Or I think my beard is almost a boomer at this point.
Dude, I was wondering how long you were going to keep that hanging around.
Yeah, I was like, part of me was thinking about just making sure maybe cutting the beard off when we finally got the company purchase all done, and then my wife looked at me one day and was like, I kind of like the beard. I'm like,
well, forget it. Yeah, if that
she has to look at me more than anyone else, I guess, except for everybody on the internet, but I don't care about them as much as I do her. Anyway,
yeah, no, that makes life more enjoyable at home. Then keep it. Definitely. Definitely. My daughter hates when I have a beard. My wife likes it. It's like a mixed bag, but you know who the boss is. So
100%.
Corey Cottrell,
yes,
of the Uplift world. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. You
guys have been going through some stuff and building and growing. And so first, for everybody that hasn't met you before, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're down here in South Florida with the two of us. And then tell us what the hell Uplift is and how it began and where it is today and what's next.
Man. Okay. So, well, I mean, like, I love telling the story about like Brad and I met, when I was doing political podcasting.
Yeah, we were doing. You were jumping. We were both Yang supporters. Yep. I've been doing political podcasting for almost 5 years at that point, right? Yep.
And met around Yang and sort of pragmatic, technocratic, intelligent, technologically driven policy platform. Which, that's just a thing you could do.
Yeah, who knew?
And it's it doesn't work, but it was hope springs eternal.
There you go.
And so it was a little while later that I saw you doing some DeFi stuff and realized, oh, wait a minute, we're like in this new place together. Because again, I'm a recovering political junkie. You can only do that for so long before you realize the ROI on that is right next door to zero. And you can just see the amount of energy that people put into it. And again, like if you can't do anything else, do that.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's not zero, it's just really close. So I got into crypto 2016, 2017. Did all right for a guitar player, which is all I was then. And through the crypto winter, I knew that I wanted to kind of keep into it. So I was doing all this political podcasting, whatever, and on the side, I was volunteering for projects, basically, doing PR for them, kind of doing shows or whatever, like getting other people doing networking, blah, 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 right? And in the process of doing that, I interviewing all these, amazing people, I started learning about NFTs, did my first NFT drop as a musician, and made more money in the pandemic over a few month period than I ever made outside of a pandemic, which felt
as
weird.
A performing musician. Yes.
Right. It was like, oh, there's something going on here. Which was fun. And we had started doing when the pandemic started, just before that, we'd started experimenting with podcasting inside of Minecraft, right? So doing the kind of game thing at the same time as we were doing podcasting. And so the pandemic starts, and we started inviting people into our little Minecraft server just to hang out, right? And we had this gratitude practice that we did every weekend, and it just became like a really kind of amazing thing when everybody's locked in their houses, but you could feel like you were present in a place. And that place, has your gratitude from last week, up on all these big monuments that we built and stuff. Like, it became really sticky. And so I was really caught on, like, wait a minute, there's something going on here, right? before anybody was talking about the word metaverse. We a year and a half ago started up this idea that, hey, wait a minute, like we can ascribe or assign land ownership inside this Minecraft server to NFTs that are outside of it, right? So we booted that up, booted the company up with some partners that are gone now. Brad knows the whole story, so he knows like
the jet went down. Is that what
we had to, let's just say we had to reshape the jet that was crashing into an airplane that will fly.
Tokenomics adjustment.
Sure, yeah. Let's go.
You have none.
Something along those lines. It's been an interesting year, but yeah, we had an amazingly successful year. We sold 21 million wax worth of NFTs last year, which at its peak was $21 million, right? So wax was just underneath $1. Obviously we have none of that, which should give some subtext for how all that stuff went down. But we have the company, I own it. First thing I did with it was decide it's going to get turned into a DAO. So we are a registered Wyoming DAO. And 25% of it got airdropped to my core team that all decided, when this other company decided they were just going to fire them all one night with 4 days notice, that they were going to come work for me for free until I could figure out how to get all this stuff booted back up. So they are basically co-founders now. They've got a huge chunk, and we're giving 25% to landowners and people that are part of our in-game currency Upliftium economy over the next 6 months. We actually did our first drop already, right? So we're turning into a DAO. We're starting to get all kinds of attention. I mean, Metaverse is a thing. I think Decentraland, Roblox, there was a few that were ahead of us. But we were doing, my mom actually brought this up to me. She's like, you were talking about Metaverse before Mark Zuckerberg. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's pretty cool. Now he's got like $1 trillion, war chest or whatever. We're a little bit smaller than that, Mom. But yeah, it's a magical time, man. And so like we've got full control of the DAOs up and running. We're doing voting on Ethereum, the tokens on Ethereum. We got the LP pool started a few days ago, so that's booted up. Investors are starting to like sniff around, and
nice.
It's and we don't even have that much DAO tokens left, right? And like the only thing people are going to be able to do is invest in the DAO token. So
what I was wondering, Brad, we should think about putting a Mission DeFi studio in there.
That's a good idea.
I mean, dude, 100% we'll get that done.
Great.
I was going to ask if you guys wanted to do that, because like what we're doing now, we're making our first push onto Ethereum with NFTs, right? So we've got 2 worlds that we're booting up, and I can pull the game up and show you some stuff.
Yeah, I'd like everybody to see it, and you kind of give us an overview of what it is, because I've been thoroughly blown away by the level of community engagement, the shit that people are building and creating in there, and why they're doing that. Number one, I think it's because it's a community of people that are kind of like-minded. But number two, there's an incentive built into the system to build things that people want to go see and visit, if I'm correct in that.
Yeah. Well, I think there's even just for sort of marketing, there's that incentive exists, right?
Right. Of course.
Because I mean I think that the biggest arc in Metaverse right now is actually more about attention than it is about actually being there. Sure. Although that is increasing geometrically now. Hold on, I'm only on my laptop today, so I'm trying to do everything on tiny little screens.
No worries.
Corey, could you say that again about Metaverse? You said something about tension or attention.
Attention, yeah. So I mean, like the number of people that are actually inside of what I would consider to be the Metaverse, right? Because it requires a location that you can actually be in. Right. There's a lot of games will call themselves Metaverse games. They're like, oh, look, I have a land NFT. Like, is there land? Like, no, but it says land on the NFT. Like, go fuck yourself. Right? Like, and again, like people have like these vacuous sort of explanations of Metaverse as like digital community, and I'm sympathetic to that, but like, come stand in the cathedral and then talk to me about that shit, right?
Right.
Like, it's that, and then also this place that feels really, really real very quickly. And I think like that's the stickiness that Mark Zuckerberg is spending, billions of dollars on, because he knows this is where it's all headed. Like, but this is Ready Player One version 1.
Right. But here's the brilliance of it. You used a platform that people already know how to use, right? Yeah. And that had years and years of adoption and kinks worked out of it, and UI improvements and capabilities and features and functions that you could leverage while turning it into something that can work with the blockchain infrastructure. And that to me was the smartest path, because, Mark's going to spend $1 trillion trying to own every component of the system.
Yeah.
But you've already built the framework and now can build on top of, around, or replace whatever you want to.
Yeah, like live off the land is one of the. I mean, it's it's a super smart startup sort of ethos. Also, we didn't have a choice, so it worked out really well, right? Like that's pretty fun. So this is I love to show people this before we hop in game. So this is the first world, and you can see on the side how many maps we have, right?
Right.
So this is the first one that we released. We're all on the Wax blockchain right now, so you can kind of see just how many builds there are, right? And we've got projects like Crown and. You guys might have met Ken Bozak, which is really fun. This whole thing right here is actually a giant arcology built by a guy who used to work at Goldman Sachs.
Wow.
Zero One Capital now. Yeah, he's deeply obsessed. It's pretty messed up. And this is the satellite view, right? So we got Luminia, which is a project on Wax. Blah blah blah. A lot of cool stuff. Now then we could skip over to the 3D view. And it starts to get kind of interesting, right? So we're not in Minecraft yet. This is all live, by the way. This updates every few minutes. So where we do, where I go to work every morning is the 2 gratitude towers. And actually, I gotta show you some stuff a little bit later on. These ones down here. Sorry about the zooming insanity. Right? So we can go stand in here. And like each one of these little monuments here is all covered in gratitudes, which is kind of fun. That's like a thing that's kind of gone all over the Uplift now,
which is awesome way to start a project. Like, seriously, the fact that this whole incredible thing started from a group of people getting together on a Sunday morning to talk about what they're grateful for. Yeah, that to me is like what an awesome way to start something, a community. It's brilliant.
So the the panels are a gratitude, each one.
So if you look at where'd the building go? Come on now.
Inside that tower, there are plates. Yeah, where people write what they're grateful for.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you. So we'll zoom in on this here.
There it is. Yeah.
So you see these wooden little monuments here. On the other side of them, there's little signs, right? There's probably about, I think, 12 signs per one of these blocks, and each one of those signs has somebody's gratitude on it. So every time we go on the show, and we'll do it today, every time we do a show, because we do a show multiple times a day now, we always have our guests put up their gratitude. It sort of just kind of sets the example and sets a tone, and it's kind of historical because we've got some people, bigwigs like Brad, for example, who've come on the show, and it's
remember that, Joe. I got invited on the show, Joe.
I mean, Joe, we now I feel like we totally have that going. I love you too, Joe. Come on,
I'll catch up. I'm usually a strong coming up from behind kind of guy.
So yeah, we just started. So you check this map out. We just started this map, and obviously we're going to be minting the NFTs for these ones on Ethereum, right? So our goal, and this is why I was excited to talk to you guys about this. So our goal is to get 100 projects that have some exposure to the Ethereum community, right? So we've got NFT the movie, and we've got Masters of the Bitcoin, and we got Curator Cards, which is the first NFT art project on Ethereum ever, like major historical thing. They said yes instantly, which is really fun. They're actually going to be right around there. Down here is Meta Art. They were on the front page of OpenSea for a little while. Right down from this, actually, I'm not going to tell you. See this little white line right here?
Yeah.
This is actually a billboard, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. We're going to fly over there, and I'm going to show you because it might be the single biggest thing that's ever happened to the Uplift. I don't know, other than me coming on this show, which is pretty big.
In terms of launching this new world, this is the goal of this one is to bring projects in to be a part of it, and then their communities follow them in to help grow it, which is a brilliant growth strategy. And do you expect that the folks in the first world will jump over into this one and play too?
Yeah, some. And the thing is, and I'll show you this when we're in world. Because people think that, if my NFTs are on Ethereum, how am I going to, interact with the rest of the game? But the game doesn't care about where your NFTs come from. We're going to handle all that, right? Nice. So, my whole goal for this year, so the overarching theme, is we get the opportunity. All these different blockchains are tribal kind of by nature, right? To a certain degree, right? And so I'm building a massive dome, bigger than anything I've ever built before. And around that dome, there's going to be a bunch of little domes, and each one of those domes is going to be a blockchain. And you're going to be able to walk from the Ethereum worlds to the wax worlds, right? Or we've got Kronos wants to do a deal with us. We're talking to Kronos, and we're talking to a group called Newcoin, where they got us in their accelerator. We're going to be doing one on their new EOS.io based blockchain or whatever, right? And like go on down the line. We're going to be in 5 different blockchains by the end of the year, and there's going to be basically a Grand Central Station where everybody's going to be able to kind of come and hang out, and not feel like they're in different places, right? It's going to feel like you're going to be in one metaverse,
right?
But it's going to be connected to all the different chains,
which then also gives all of those blockchains the opportunity to see and meet other people who are coming from other blockchain communities. Gives an opportunity for dApps within those blockchains to sell themselves to the people who are coming into the community. That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think that just the possibilities around cross pollination are pretty big. One of the things too, there you go.
How do you, Corey, quick, how do you differentiate from, there we go, from like the other, I mean, I see like different domes. I mean, I kind of can think of it as bubbles or something like that, in pipes going between the blockchains, but seamless, so we don't see it. Like, we flush the toilet. I mean, you grew up as a kid, you never really thought about what that was and what it took to build out that infrastructure.
Right.
But it's sort of seamless. Electricity, another one.
Yep.
So you don't really make decisions. You just
use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And so how do you think in like, for Uplift, as far as differentiating from, all the other metaverse cluster or clutter, how do you kind of cut through that?
So I think that's 2 different questions, right? Like how do we operate when the space is starting to fill up a little bit, right? And certainly we're tiny compared to Decentraland, and everyone's tiny compared to Facebook. Although, we'll see what Facebook actually does. I see this as like we're waiting for the TCP/IP moment for Metaverse, right? There's going to be companies that are going to try and create a walled garden, and they might succeed, like Apple kind of sort of massively has, right? But then there's going to be another family that is far more open to collaboration and figuring out, okay, how do we move in and out, and how do I make a product with the Uplift that is going to have the ability to scale with network effect with other metaverse projects. And that's where we're going, right? We're thinking of ourselves as a platform layer thing. People are building on top of what we're doing, and we're making it easier and easier and easier to do that, right? And that's kind of where I think we add the most value, right? And there's tons of stuff coming down the pike with that, including some ability to download object files and bring your builds other places, right? So nice. Brad, I want to tell you, I mean, this is one of the craziest things that have happened so far, is that just in the last couple of months, we've started showing people how to take the towers as an example object file, and we can actually get it into Unreal Engine, right? So we can get into Unreal 5.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And start messing with it over there. And so I think where this is going to end for us, or like a near-term stage for us, nearer than I thought actually, is that we're going to make it very easy to get a hold of your object file. We're going to make it very easy to get into things like spatial. People, actually 2 days ago this happened. Somebody grabbed one of their Uplift builds and put it into spatial, so there's a seamless mobile web access to their build that doesn't require Minecraft.
Nice.
Just like,
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy,
astounding.
Right?
That's incredible.
Right. And then, with Unreal 5, I've got, my Void, I'm a DGen things posing in this tower that we're in now, but it's in Unreal 5, right? Wow. All the different object files, right? So, and I think that's where I think the Unreal 5 might be a cluster where, a lot of these things start getting in. And then I think you can have interoperability, right? I think at a certain point, Unreal turns around and goes, okay, XYZ% of the sort of quote unquote metaverse projects are in there. How do I make a portal that goes from the Uplift to the other side, Bored Ape Lands or whatever, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, are built on that same kind of architecture, right? And so they're going to figure that stuff out. And so I'm looking at where the puck's going to be in a year, and just planning to get in front of all that stuff, and then creating all of the bedrock infrastructure, like a frictionless mobile game that we're going to boot up pretty soon. And then also profile pages for land pieces that actually the ownership is, will be tied to the land, which is going to be how we tie in everything else, right? So you'll have your piece of land on Wax or on Ethereum or whatever. You build it, the object file download is going to be associated with that page. Do you have a spatial? You'll be able to just send people there, right? There's going to be a comment section. There's going to be a buy sell trade. It's going to be connected to maps. And I think that becomes the central node for taking that object file that everybody builds in Minecraft easily, right?
Right.
And then we can start upgrading and porting them into all these different systems.
That's beautiful.
So Corey, I'm sorry, Brad, did I cut you off?
That's okay. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm really intrigued about the Minecraft angle better. I mean, I've heard a little bit about it, but I think the listeners don't have much grasp on the advantages of that, or how this gem emanated from there, or what the plan is there. Can you talk a little bit for me, just so I understand a little bit better, like how? I mean, because it seems like a tremendous competitive advantage with all the users there.
It is. There's 130 million people playing Minecraft right now. Right.
Right.
And for me, I think because there's one incubator that we were talking to, they've got another Metaverse project and they kind of started at Unreal 5. No users, no content. They barely sold anything. But it looks amazing, right? Awesome. What can they do there? Because if what they do there is just like walk around and look at stuff, it's going to fail. Right? It's going to fail.
Right.
You need a website for that. Right. And now, granted, you could get people in a place and do an event and get some media from that, like get some pictures and some video from that, and then having an event in the metaverse right now, right? Like that's a little sexy right now. So great, you could do that, awesome. But here, not only can you come and anyone can build, right? Like half the time people are coming in and they're saying, hey, like my kids actually know how to build. Like, could they build? I'm like, yes. Like at least half the projects that we have come in to build, we end up talking about this stuff and they end up bringing their 9-year-olds in to build them their headquarters in the metaverse.
Love it.
Like that's juice to me. Like that to me is just
cool.
so much fun.
Yeah.
And we did a spot with NFT NYC last week, and Ian brought his 2 sons on. I think they were like 9 and 12 or something like that. Hopefully I get the ages too wrong. Great guys though. Like his sons are awesome. And they're both like Minecraft enthusiasts, right? And so, that ended up being this, conversation that we were having with them where they were taking a look at this. I mean, this looks like something I could actually do. Right? Of course I can. It's Minecraft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's a great hook. And look, I mean, I'm the same way. If we have one, my 16-year-old will be building it, right? Like
when, not if.
Okay, when he'll be building it. I mean, and look, I actually am fairly skilled and experienced with Minecraft, but I'm gonna let him do the work. So
I want to hear about. Well, while we're here though, let me get gratitude from you guys. We'll get you guys up on the wall. Joe, let's start with you. Place of honor.
He's gonna say he's grateful for working with me. That's what he's gonna say.
Yeah, grateful for Brad.
Nice pre-frame.
No, jeez. What are we grateful? I mean, we're grateful for so much. I mean,
I got mine.
You go first.
I am grateful for tuna steak.
Really?
Yeah, I'm on a diet and had a big,
sounds a little misogynist.
12-ounce piece of tuna last night. It was only 300 calories.
Nice. All right.
Wow.
I mean, there's no rules about having to be profound.
I already did a profound one previously. I figure I'll go with the tuna steak today.
I guess I'll go with great. This is like a short ones, man. I guess we'll go with grateful toward the people in my life. For the people in my life.
That's good. Mainly your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parents are pretty cool too.
Yeah. Your parents are cool too.
Yeah. And
your ex-wives, you're grateful for them.
Yeah, they don't like kill me every week, so it's good.
That's right.
Yeah. That's all you can ask for. And I'm like kind of the bogey trying not to get caught in a crossfire,
Wait, we got some questions from Chuck. Right. What's the get started cost in dollars for someone who wants to get into Uplift world? That would be $0.
Well, you can get excuse me, you can get passports for really cheap on Wax.
Oh, that's right.
Or you can get whitelisted on somebody else's land for $0. But to get like real exposure, you're gonna want to get a piece of land on Wax right now. The floor price on Wax is like maybe $30 for a piece of land.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And then you'll need Minecraft Java to run it.
Yeah, that's the other question he asked.
Yeah, that'll run you another $25 or something.
Yeah.
So that's probably your all-in cost to get rolling. Ethereum is going to be a different story because there's so much less land there. It's going to be going for a little bit of a premium.
Nice.
But the Wax stuff, I mean, the floor on Wax, it's going to end up getting swept pretty hardcore, this year, because I think we're going to 10x the number of people that are in the Uplift before the end of the year. But
love it.
Right now, they're dirt cheap.
On that note, let's walk through, if you don't mind, real quickly. Well, I'd like to see some of the incredible buildings in here, but I'd also like to hear about the model you're now doing with the tokens, and how the NFTs work in the NFTs are revenue generating, can be in the space. So can you talk a little bit about that stuff?
I'm just going to pop over to the new portal hub that I'm creating.
I mean, that's beautiful by itself.
Right? I mean, every time that's the thing, the sun rises and sets in this world. Freaks me out every time it happens. So this is where, so the DAO token I'll get to in a second here, but this is going to be where the giant dome is. That's going to connect all the tribes together.
Nice.
Right? I just kind of mapped out the width of it. And of course, the first place we're going is Ethereum. And the first two worlds are going to be Etheria and Degen 1. So we've got creative maps and survival maps.
Nice.
And then, all the logos for all the partner projects are going to come in here. We just started getting these things up. So we got NFT the movie or whatever.
Nice.
Which is awesome. Ape Swap is super stoked. Big event. Actually, I got to get you in touch with the Crypto Connect Florida guys, Brad.
Okay.
They're doing a big event in Palm Springs.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I'd love to.
Hey, Corey, did you do anything with the Youth Crypto Conference group, YCC? They're around here too.
I have not done anything with them.
Okay. Sorry.
That's
Didn't
right.
mean to interject.
So that picture isn't a picture, it's a door. So it's just gonna pop me over to the other server here in a second. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Yeah, so this is where I started flying around. This is Masters of the Bitcoin just started building over here. And if I'm not mistaken, this is NFT the movie. Oh man, this is all new from yesterday.
Oh, nice.
What?
Oh, so they're already engaged and going forward.
Rock and roll. Yeah, that's good
Love
stuff.
it.
So that meta art project is it's just over here. And they're gonna get all their artist NFTs up in that thing over there. So this is one of the things we're doing. So that's a QR code, right? That'll work. And we vet them all because we're the ones who our team puts up all the pictures in world.
Okay.
So part of the service that we have, because people are like a little reticent to kind of just hit QR codes whenever.
Yeah.
And I just hit it on the screen and it just did it. So
nice.
Yeah. So this is like one of the most messed up things I've experienced all year. Just want to come and get this. Boink.
Oh shit! Holy crap! That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice partner.
Not only are they obviously getting land, we're going to start building on over the next couple of days. But yeah, we got accepted into their accelerator program.
That's phenomenal. Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's a big deal. I'm not going to fucking lie.
No, it's huge, dude. It's huge.
So what we could do is 100 yards over here, there's going to be another plot that's up. Do you guys want to be close to IBM?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that.
All right,
Love that.
It'll probably be right around here. But I'll get the maps open and we'll figure that stuff out. And then I think we get what I would recommend right off the bat. We get we can put some pictures up really quickly. I want to get billboards up and logos up for everybody.
Sure.
But yeah, this is just Meta Club's website.
That's awesome.
Right, and then you hit the QR code and you're there. So wherever you'd want to kind of send people right off the bat, so you can have foot traffic that's kind of coming in, and engaging with you guys. This is obviously their OpenSea page and stuff, but
right. That's awesome. Loving it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Loving it. Dude. I love all the deals, man. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, things are escalating.
That's
rather quickly.
Fantastic.
Interesting too. We had Block Cities, which is doing, it's another metaverse project. They actually just came in. They got some free land. Talking to Brian, the guy who started this with them, and we're going to be figuring out all sorts of awesome collabs, right? Because that's going to be what we do in this space, right? There's people are going to do different things, but I know the future is going to be connected, and we want to make sure we have as much of part of that as we possibly can. So anyway, all that stuff, the token.
I know a few projects we can wrangle in there.
Cool, yeah, and they'll be close to you, right?
Yeah,
so that's kind of the
beautiful.
whole.
Before you say anything about the token, hold on one second. There you go.
Nailed it. And I just put up a little blog post about all this stuff, just because I think it was a pretty momentous moment for us. So our DAO token, you're going to be able to vote with it on snapshot.org. It's gasless voting, right? So we can have a pretty teeming ecosystem.
Nice.
Yeah, and so effectively, like all of the DAO token is going to be completely and totally in circulation by the end of this year.
Wow.
Barring anything that's kind of left over in our treasury, and right now there's 4%. I think there's a significant probability that'll a bit of that is going to get moved OTC to investors this year, just because there's been a little bit of interest. So that's fun. But yeah, the idea is to get it all out into circulation really quickly.
Nice.
And then and we're finalizing the numbers on this, but I think when there's 3 to 6 months worth of runway in the treasury, everything after that, 30% is going to get distributed to the DAO token holders.
Oh, sweet. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful.
So it's it's how we're going to pay ourselves, right? And so it's how we're creating an army of rabid owners, frankly, right? Because that's ultimately DAO. That's what it's supposed to be for. So those are the two main things, right? Like making the bet that we're going to do anything in sales whatsoever this year, which I think, like I said, a stretch goal to try and do 6 million in the first calendar year. And then a bunch of things happen. I was like, well, let's try and do 6 million by the end of this year. And now I'm like, maybe we could do 10. I don't know. Let's get crazy. Yeah. It's like, it's who knows, right? We might only do 3 or 4 or whatever, but I'm obnoxiously bullish.
That's beautiful. I am I look, you and I talked a couple of weeks ago, and
it was not
things were a little more frustrating.
It was really hard.
Corey was a little bit frustrated, and this is a guy who's rarely seems to be frustrated. So
he seemed pretty laid back when we met at was it
Decentral?
Yeah, I'm usually pretty chill. But you try and fire my whole team with 4 days notice, I lose my fucking shit. As it turns out.
It's never fun.
It's funny how that works.
Well, and it was it's challenging, but ultimately we managed to figure it out. We have a position that we can actually start from. It amicable enough, and we get to move forward. And it's been interesting seeing the team, and the team chat is on fire. We've got a committee system, so it's kind of a hybrid DAO, right? Without any DAO tokens whatsoever. If you feel really passionately about this, you can get up in our Discord and start working with the communities there. Hire yourself out to as a volunteer to one of the communities and start running and gunning, and a lot of people are doing that, right? So it feels like the amount of energy in the community towards this is just because a lot of people we're all some people were yelling at us just because there was a scary moment. I totally get that, right? It's not what I chose, but ultimately it's going to be much for the better,
right?
Because we actually get to build in the way that things are going to be in the future, instead of trying to run some corporate fantasy football league company that just will never produce anything ever.
Right, exactly. No, I think you guys are beautifully positioned right now. Beautifully positioned.
Cut the legacy stuff, cut the dead weight, and move forward.
Love it, man.
Yeah. So if you want to hit the
how do people get involved?
Yeah. So you want to hit our Discord if you want, and go to theuplift.world. You can actually we actually created a blog. I'd love for you guys to do guest posts on the blog too, if you want.
Cool.
At any time.
Great.
The blog is on theuplift.world, but you can also hit it by going to wherewehideallthealpha.com. I like that one too. I said it as a joke one day on the show, and I was like, "Screw it, I'm gonna buy that." That's
you got it. That's freaking phenomenal.
It's too good.
That's awesome. So theuplift.world to find everything.
Yep.
Awesome.
Dr. Unani invited me. How does that work? I just went there. Oh yeah, I clicked on the website, like Corey said, to go to Discord.
Oh yeah, I think he probably set up the invite link
The
for
invite.
for that.
Yeah.
Go.
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah.
this is amazing. Like
Thanks,
from the brink of disaster to like blowing it out.
Yes.
Just blowing it out. You guys are cranking, you're moving.
We're blowing it out.
No more overlords deciding what the strategy is. Just you and the community and the team.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
I can't. And like even the people are already starting to try and think about, okay, what kind of DAO proposal do I make? And what do I want to work on? Like that, just like capturing the energy that's always been in our community, the creative energy and the drive to kind of co-create this.
Yeah.
The DAO is already starting to do it. And I think we're just scratching the surface of that. Like the second we do our first revenue share drop to everyone, like people are going to lose their goddamn minds. Like that's just like, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like just a bunch of USDC showing up in your wallet. It's like, here comes your money.
Right. I mean, this is what we did. All our books are going to be transparent. Everybody's going to be able to watch every single thing that we do on purpose.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think we have a really good chance of doing some epic damage.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
I want to talk about what I think is going to happen with the price of the token, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's probably not a good move.
No, it's terrible.
Wait,
It's a
what
bad
is it?
idea.
What
I think
is that token again? Uplift?
It's UDT, Uplift DAO token.
UDT, Uplift
Yeah.
DAO token. All right.
I think the easiest way, and I grabbed the contract address from either the Uplift World Twitter or from the posts we have up in I have the swap pool up on the blog. I can share that. Like I did a blog post about this yesterday, just because I want to make sure. Because I think there's like another thing, like a dead project that has UDT
sure.
on it or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
use the contract address. Always a good idea anyway, right? You want to get the contract
Absolutely.
address from a website or a place you trust.
No, absolutely, dude. I'm so happy for you guys. Like really,
cool.
really happy.
I'm
this all
excited you
worked
guys are
out.
going to be there. Like
We
this
will
is
be
where
there.
like
Definitely.
every time you guys have a big show or a blog post or something, like we need to get like this as a screenshot, right? And then get the QR code that goes right to the show link.
Yeah.
Like that's like have a gallery there.
Love
and,
it.
Start selling NFTs for crying out loud.
Definitely.
I like that. Yeah.
Freaking love it. All right, we're in. Let me know where I got to do.
Yeah, right by IBM, man, so they can see us.
Yeah, seriously, we'll do that. I think the next step is going to be I'll like I have Jen, my cousin actually, who's working with us now, is doing introduction experiences with people. We'll have your land picked out. We'll basically go in there and show you guys some more stuff, and it's kind of like an AMA thing or whatever.
Sure.
And she'll actually get your banner and logo up while you're there, and you guys can talk about if you need builders or if you want to do it yourself. I would highly recommend doing it yourself. It's more fun, but
exactly.
And then
I've got slave labor here in the house. It's all good.
do it up. This is the way.
There you go.
Where are those kids? Interns, so they're all available now. It's like,
Well, think about this: like, if I'm right, and I have a suspicion that, I'm going to make it so that we're right, at least to a certain extent. The amount of people that can actually build in a way that will make sense to them and is super fun and super creative, and the actual uptake on that, like the learning curve on it, is nothing. It's playing Lego with blocks. It's not hard to do, right? Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
And then having that ability to go into the future game engines that are going to run the actual metaverse, Unreal 5, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that there's actually a seamless pipeline. You want to build? Cool. Go where building is really easy.
Exactly.
Right? You want to boot that into a first-person shooter game that plugs into our metaverse? Yeah, we could do that too.
Nice.
Right? It's going to get
so
really
stuff doesn't off ramp into obsolescence. It just keeps scaling up in that standard. Oh, that's sweet.
It's like, man, we want to be the platform. We want to use all the tools that are out there living off the land. And we want to make sure that we're always having our eye to how do we take where this is right now and meaningfully take the human network into what's coming next.
That's
beautiful. One final thing on this. Brad, I'm connecting the dots to my daughter is, doing a big community service project for college applications. And we talked about doing a fundraiser for an animal shelter, NFT type thing, sales, all of that. And then we started talking about a couple other ones. And I started thinking, when you're talking, this would be the perfect place to do something like that, where you basically have a physical representation of sort of a fundraising party.
Yeah.
And sell NFTs and draw attention and do all of that. The ideas aren't really flushed out as to exactly what the thing's going to be, but yeah, I definitely want to, maybe we do that out in the cafe area around our building.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
Yeah, you can absolutely do it. And right now, and this is a conversation that talk to Jen about this. I'll probably actually join it when you guys do it.
Cool.
With her. but we can do event servers that can handle basically an infinite number of people.
Nice.
So
Very
there's
nice.
that too, right?
Very nice. I love that.
Anyway, so the law firm that actually helped us purchase the Uplift and turned us into a Wyoming DAO is on my show in 5 minutes, so I gotta go
later. All right,
but they're getting land. They're getting land too.
Nice.
You know what's really messed up, Brad? We racked up a pretty hefty bill with them, doing this sort of the acquisition or whatever, right?
Of course, yeah.
And they were really amazing and
Nice.
pivotal to actually us, being able to do it at all. And so I asked them, like, hey, do you guys want to take, any of this pretty sizable bill in DAO tokens? And of course, they were talking to me and my core leadership team the whole time. And they came back and said, hey, can we actually take it all in DAO tokens?
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, what
awesome.
the what? Yeah, and but here's
awesome.
Here was their caveat, and this, like, I almost teared up for real. He said, hey, remember when you kind of mentioned offhand that maybe we could get some land as well? Like, could we make that part of the deal? I'm like, oh, these fuckers get it. Yeah. So, like, they're gonna be in Ethereum, which is the land that you guys are gonna be in, and I'm gonna be setting that up in like 5 minutes. So I gotta go.
I love it, dude. Thanks, a good one. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations. Right. Hey, all my best to your brother, buddy. Thanks, and have a great day. Love you.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, good seeing you again, Corey. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's
all right.
Awesome.
There we go. So now we're going to have our office.
I'm so glad to see him. He was incredibly frustrated a couple of months ago, and we chat on Telegram all the time. And
is that when he dumped you?
He was, he was losing his mind, and felt rightly so, like the way that they were being treated was not indicative of the friendships that he had established with the people that were doing those things. So anyway,
businessy stuff.
Yeah. So
that always goes that way. Though.
I'm really, really excited for him, excited for what they're going to do, and that we're going to participate. And I encourage everyone to check it out. Good people doing good stuff. It's always good to support, and you'll have a good time doing it. So.
I'm sure we could steer a lot of other projects this way too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm going through all the mainnet projects right now in my head, going, okay, yeah, that, and the ones they have big crowds.
And look in the Telegram channel for Gilroy. Some comments in there you might want to look at.
Cool.
Just ideas.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it out loud.
I'll do that. I will do that. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, one of the things I've talked to Corey about in the past was, when he was talking to me about helping him get in some of these partners, these protocols that I know, was, well, let's make it so they can execute in there. I mean, this was, last year sometime, but, being able to have your app there is a powerful thing. So I can definitely see some potential there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, great show, buddy. Good
that was fun. Awesome. We could just have Corey on every day, not have to do any work.
Yeah, I'll try to find a few guests when I'm at last call tonight down the street at the Grove, see what's out there. Just kidding. Usually I'm in bed by 9:30, guys. So I'm not that late owl anymore.
Joe's hanging out at Taurus in the Grove.
Yeah, hanging out there.
Remind me to tell you
Taurus at the Ritz.
Remind me to tell you Taurus stories. Because back in the day, Taurus was the end of the night hangout if you had not connected with someone that you wanted to spend the evening with.
Because it's kind of the last one.
Yeah,
it's the last one on the strip before you're walking down to your house. So.
That was the spot. The spot. I lived in the Grove, and that was the end of my night every night out, and it was fun. I miss the Grove. I miss living there. You live in a cool place, so.
Yeah, it's good to be single too. So.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. And please rate and review us on Apple Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Click the little bell so you get notified when we have a new episode out. Message me, B05 Crypto, on Telegram and Twitter, B05 Crypto, #2143 on Discord. Always open to hear your feedback, your thoughts, your ideas, projects we should talk to, guests we should have on the show, whatever you like. We appreciate you being here and being a part of the community. Joe, have a great afternoon. Everyone else, have a great one as well.
Yeah, likewise, buddy. And thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Later.